Oh well, no countdown. We are live.
It's just
What's up,
surprising.
everybody?
Howdy.
We're here.
Oh, I'm getting a notification that we are live on YouTube. All right. So anyway, good evening, everybody. Yeah, no countdown. We just hop right on in here. Being we're 6 minutes
Bringing the
late.
new year right.
Yeah, I didn't plan it that way. It just happened. So we'll roll with it. That's what we do. Thank God we're all covered. So yeah, there that is. But anyway, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. I know I did. I spent time with the family, which, like I said, that's most important. I mean, everybody got gifts, but it wasn't overwhelming. You know, it was more of a, sit around, play checkers and stuff like that. You know, with my parents and family and stuff like that. Just little bitty things. So that's kind of memories that you need to hang on to. But I did realize why my father is not to be toyed with on a checkerboard. Yeah. So long story short, my grandfather taught him how to play and taught me how to play, and apparently he taught my dad more than he did me. So I'm just saying, there's some tricks. But anyway, so what's going on there, T?
Man, just trying to endure. Got a house full of grandkids here. It's I feel like Tim Allen on Last Man Standing. There's an awful lot of estrogen up in this house.
Man, you gonna mess around and lose all your hair.
That's it. Can get you every time.
What's up, Sax, man? How's it going, buddy?
Doing super. Just like T was saying, just recovering from the food portion of Christmas. Pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's all
Oh,
I've done.
Lord.
Is eat.
Yeah.
But
That mail order turkey we got sure was good.
Sounded good.
It
I wanted
was.
to ask you about that.
We got it. It came from Texas, and they got it here in 2 days on dry ice. It was already cooked. All you do is warm it, and it was Cajun fried.
Nice.
And I'm here to tell you, it had some kick, and it was good. I'll get another one from them. I'd rather do that than get one local, because it wasn't that expensive. It wasn't no worse than buying a honey baked ham.
Yeah.
So they bring it right to my door.
Yeah, I might need to try that. But see, I like spices now. I eat some hot stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't super spicy, but it had enough of a kick where you say, hey, you could taste it. It was seasoned in there.
Right.
All you had to do was warm it. I mean, that was it. And it didn't take long at all. It was really good. I was impressed. And like I said, for the money we spent, it was well worth it. It's called the Cajun Turkey Company.
Huh.
I think.
You like fruitcake?
Uh,
Have you ever had a fruitcake that you liked?
yeah, I live. The majority of it's made in Georgia, right?
Fruitcake? Is
Yes.
it really? Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen. I mean, I've driven by a lot of fruitcakes down in Atlanta, but I did not know that there was like a fruitcake company here.
Yeah, you want to know the actual one that originally started and the main place that it's at is over in Claxton, Georgia.
Okay.
A little bitty. It's I think they got 4 or 5 red lights, maybe. They're up to 6.
Claxton. Small.
That's
a
my
little
kind of
bitty place.
town. Yeah. Well, if you're ever in East Texas, Collins Street Bakery. Excellent fruitcake.
Okay.
But yeah, you look up Fruitcake Company, it'll bring up Claxton, Georgia, and it's sold all over the world.
Well, if I remember, what is a Claxton brand? Is that the brand?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's.
Yeah, it's old fashioned Claxton fruitcake made by the Fruitcake Company.
Yeah. That's been around for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember when they were established. Now you got me wanting to look.
I haven't had fruitcake since I was a kid. It's not that I don't like it. I don't know. I just hadn't had any. But yeah. So, but
Now I'm looking it up.
okay, we're getting some education on fruitcake and its
That's
manufacturing.
right.
God knows we got enough of them working in the government, right?
Amen.
1948.
Okay.
Okay. Right at the end of World War II.
Mm-hmm. They
Getting
probably
at it.
developed it for the war because you can store that stuff for like 100 years and still eat it and it'll taste the same.
Yeah, you can always throw a couple of them in your emergency rations.
That's right. It'll turn into hardtack after a while.
It'd be like a damn granola bar.
That's right.
You can build
That's
a securement wall out of them.
You're right.
Who needs sandbags when you got cases of damn fruitcakes?
Oh, I'm actually wrong. It started in 1927,
Oh, really?
and it says the first company in fruitcake was that company.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
They started putting out fruitcake. Well, I am just all wrong, yo. So let's go to the beginning. It actually started in 1910. A townspeople of small South Georgia community of Claxton saw a new business open its doors, the Claxton Fruitcake Company. So 112 years that thing's been around.
That's impressive. Very impressive. You know,
Rolls.
I'm sitting there looking at something. I know that our topic is, gun manufacturers getting sued by wingnuts. But did you know that back in February, 13 states backed a Mexican government lawsuit
I did not.
against U.S. gun makers? I mean, this is on the Communist News Network, so you know that it must be the gospel. Talking about, here's the funny thing that help think this through. Mexico is suing U.S. gun makers for thousands of guns trafficked across the border each year. Okay. Is anybody else seeing the irony here?
So, can we sue the Mexican government for them literally bussing in? You can. I know how some of you feel about Crenshaw, but if you go on his site, they actually it will show you them bussing in people, the Mexican government, to the border so they can walk across. Okay, so yeah, can we not sue the Mexican government for that?
Well, I mean, you could sue the Mexican government, but who are you going to sue and how much? They're going to pay you in pesos.
They'll pay me pesos or street tacos. I don't give a shit. But it's the principle of the thing,
Okay, but it's kind of like going to Skid Row and suing them for ugling up the street. There's nobody to pay.
Oh, true. Well, they could pay us in land.
Well, but do you really want the land?
Oh, yeah, there's, not the desert, but, Central Mexico's, it's like a lot of other countries, when the government owns most everything out there and it's mismanaged, then yeah, it's a shithole. But,
like Jay makes a good point too about, can we sue them about the fentanyl coming across the border?
Yeah,
there's a good option, or the drugs. But see, here's the problem. Let's say, just out of the sake of paying tribute to Rod Serling and the Twilight Zone, that we were able to annex part of Mexico. All that would do is create a new southern border that's just as jacked up, if not worse, with whoever. I mean, we'd have the same problem, just somewhere else geographically.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, am I wrong? Because you're going to annex part of the country, so those folks in the country are going to become U.S. citizens, right?
Right.
Well, I guess by becoming American citizens, are they suddenly going to either A, get a moral compass, or B, be willing to stand up on the right side of the law because for so long they've been around all this corruption? I mean, are you really going to have a de facto? I mean,
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, because they started their citizenship out on breaking the law.
right.
True. Yeah, a lot of them did. That's a really good question. That would be an interesting what do you call it?
It's a huge
social
moral
experiment.
quandary.
Yeah, it would be an interesting social experiment to find out.
Yeah, but not at our expense.
No. That's kind of like the whole Puerto Rico thing as well. So
Right, exactly. So I mean, it's. But yeah, I was pulling up the article, and the top thing it loaded, of course, on Google, our favorite search engine, was the Communist News Network's article about the 13 states backing the Mexican government's lawsuit. And it's like, I don't understand if you allow people to sue a gun manufacturer for violence, okay? What's to stop somebody from getting a hair up their ass and suing Ford, Nissan, Toyota,
Apple.
For that matter, can't you sue Facebook for promoting, violence through chat or whatever? I mean, it just opens up a ridiculous doorway that can't be shut. Because once that shit starts sliding downhill, you're not going to be able to stop it.
True. Yeah, I mean, Louisville Slugger, Oneida.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
yeah.
The list is endless. Basically, if somebody stubs their toe, you're going to sue the concrete company.
Right.
I mean,
that's it. I'm telling you, if I go there and hit my toe on my couch, I'm suing the shit out of IKEA.
Right. Exactly. Of course, we all know, though, that it's totally political, and it goes into their long game end run, which is coming for your weapons. I mean, it's basically, it's doing what Canada did, what Australia did.
Well, I mean, the whole plan's always been to disarm and disenfranchise the American people. You disarm them, the ones that got balls, or you disarm the people who believe in the Second Amendment, because we're the ones who believe in the Constitution, believe in our rights and everything else. We've got other generations that think all that shit's old school or outdated, and we need to rethink our way of life, which is more shit that's been indoctrinated. But the angle of, I mean, we were saying that, but then it's a twofold problem. And when you disenfranchise people, the way you disenfranchise them is you make them believe that there is no other way. You got to conform to this. This is for the greater good. You keep letting bad shit happen until they're just desperate for something to change, and it makes them a pliable. It makes the people more pliable. Jay's spot on. It's just like this whole thing about reparations. If I'm going to have to pay reparations for some ridiculous bullshit I had no hand in or my family, then there's a whole bunch of other folks need to be paying reparations to folks. I mean, does that mean all the Japanese Americans can pay for, World War II, Pearl Harbor? Don't forget about German descendants now, because boy, they fucked up Europe during World War I and World War II. So what about them?
Well, and be true. How far are you going to take this?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This goes back to the original thing. Okay, if you start doing these ludicrous lawsuits over things that happened 4 generations ago, 5 generations ago, whatever, or you start going after manufacturers of inanimate objects because some evil shitbag decides to use something for evil intent, the whole premise is asinine. Don't get me wrong, it's truly tragic and unfortunate when somebody loses their life or gets seriously injured from somebody being an asshat with a weapon or a car or an RC airplane. I don't know, whatever the hell they're using to be an ass. Okay, because nowadays people are creative. Maybe somebody's gonna go feral and come at you with a weed eater. Who knows? Are you gonna sue Weed Eater? Ryobi? What? Help me here.
It's same premise.
I mean, so the whole premise just it doesn't stand. And from what I'm understanding, and one of you can correct me if I'm incorrect here, wasn't there some legislation passed years back, like in the 90s, to prevent this bullshit? Because they tried this with the gun manufacturers, and something stating that you couldn't sue a manufacturer of a product that was used for ill intent because they had no, as long as the stuff is okay. Like if I'm a firearms manufacturer and I'm making my weapons do along federal law, so I'm serializing them. Everything's being sold to a licensed dealer. I haven't got somebody pulling up their 73 Impala buying a case of M4s. Okay. From a manufacturing plant, I'm selling them to licensed dealers, going through all the red tape, following ATF guidelines. As long as I'm doing that, there's no legal recourse to come back at my company for manufacturing because we're following the federal guidelines. You have no legal precedent to come after me for manufacturing something that this shitbag went and did something with. If anything, you need to go after that individual's family. Now, I know I may ruffle some feathers saying going after a family, but okay. Most of the people here are have kids, parents, or uncles, whatever. You have a relationship with a minor of some sort in a parental role at some point. If your child has got 2 Davidson Defense AR-15s with, for shits and giggles, like 5,000 rounds, 30, 40 loaded mags, and bought them and has them up in your house, you're an idiot if you didn't know about it. Either that or you're so caught up in your own shit doing shit that you should be paying attention to them. You've got some culpability in this.
Right.
I'm sorry, but if that minor lives under your roof, it's kind of your responsibility, buddy. Patriot Nation, spot on. Get them.
So, talking about that, was it earlier in the year? Remington, yes, $73 million. They settled $73 million with Remington over that whole shooting thing.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how these companies are being held liable for something that's not their fault.
Exactly.
And I don't understand how any court, I don't understand how a judge or a prosecutor even thinks this is remotely prosecutable.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're exactly right. It'd be the same thing if I took my Chevy Silverado and went to a Christmas parade and ran down as many people as I could. Let's go ahead and sue Chevy. I'm just throwing Chevy out there.
That's fine.
Yeah. Suing the person that manufactured this vehicle for being an asshat and going out there and running over people.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't jive. The only thing that does make sense is, use that whole early 2000s word, is the optics of it, because that means as many as if you can get lawyers out there that will actually go out and make a case and win lawsuits like this, just even if there's no clear, okay, yes, we ruled in your favor, we're just going to settle with you guys to make this go away. But it doesn't. And the optics of it is that you get more and more and more of that out there.
Yeah.
You have influenced people through the media saying, oh, yeah, guns are bad because, yeah, they're suing people for, $73-53 million, $100 million a year. So.
Well, I mean, what happens is the gun manufacturers, if it's a publicly traded company, we're going to know it's all about profit and optics, because that's what the board members are going to be concerned about. The shareholders. Oh, our shares going to go down. We're going, we got to get in front of this. Blah, 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 blah. And shit like that, it makes these frivolous lawsuits gain traction, and it starts setting legal precedents when there shouldn't be one.
Right.
And it's all about a damn profit margin that they aren't really protecting. They might be protecting it temporarily for their shares, but what they're doing is they're paving the way and opening the door for much worse problems down the road. And in the West mind, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong, in the West mind, they think that if they can't get rid of guns one way, they'll bankrupt the manufacturers where they don't make them.
Right.
And again, this is that asinine, fuzzy math logic that the left uses. It's kind of like playing with silly putty. They keep pulling up an image until they like it.
Yep.
The whole premise, like I said, is just completely asinine to me. If they were to do something like this, and let's say it's to gain traction, and they start making this a regular basis where they go after ammo manufacturers. They're going to go after ammo manufacturers, gun manufacturers, etc. Now, who's to say that the family of like that, I'm sorry, I'm going to call him this, that racist piece of shit that he was a domestic terrorist and ran through that Christmas parade. That's what he was. I don't care if he's classified as that or not. He was both. It should have been a hate crime, and he should be a domestic terrorist, and his ass should get the needle. At least. Minimum.
Right.
That's my opinion. But my point being, who's to say that any of those victims, if you're going to let that, then they need to go after the car manufacturers, go after the brake manufacturers, go after the steering manufacturers, go after the tennis shoes that son of a bitch was wearing, because if he'd been wearing better ones, maybe he could have hit the gas or the brakes better. Just pick something.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Jay. This video just got flagged. You're trying to wish bad shit on us, man. I didn't say anything that. All I did was voice an opinion.
Has it been 90 days?
Who knows, brother?
So look at
you got a good point too.
Yeah, so I'm looking up what he's talking about. Actually, 20,966 firearm homicides in 2021, and 26,320 from gun suicide.
Yeah. Well, see, we all know that when they do gun violence deaths, they lump everything in together, because that's how they have to obtain the numbers they need. If you were to take out like your suicides, your accidental discharges, your what would be some others they lump in there? I would imagine
those numbers that he just posted right there, I'm looking at them now. They're actually on the CDC. .gov.
Right. No, I'm not saying the numbers aren't correct overall, but I'm saying when they do the gun deaths, they lump all gun deaths together.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't divide them out.
Yeah, I mean, when they say homicide, it doesn't say accidental homicide. It doesn't say any of that. It just says 20,966 firearm homicides.
Right.
Then 26,320 firearm suicides occurred. So, yeah. So, what's more dangerous? A weapon or an automobile?
I'll be honest with you, I'd say the car is. That's my opinion, the automobile. I mean, if you break it down, when you're looking on the web or you're watching the news, there's always traffic, there's always a wreck, there's always, a truck overturned or road rage, this, that, and other. Okay, there's multitudes of that every day. All right, but you don't have somebody walking down the street in the local municipality lighting somebody up every day, or somebody dying from a gunshot wound every day. Not in the same frequency. So the numbers speak for themselves, but they'll never be presented properly.
Sax, man, did you see the?
Yeah, I did. That's all that. I think I fixed it.
Notice that. I want to give you a 411.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, I mean, the idiocy the left will stoop to try and get an agenda passed. It baffles me. I mean, because think about it. They're literally trying to do everything they possibly can. They've got the new coding done for the credit cards, which to me, that's an invasion of your privacy. Where if you go to a gun show or whatever, if you don't pay in cash, you're screwed. Because some paper pusher, bean counter, whatever, somebody sitting in an office somewhere says, "Oh, look, Fred here just went to Academy Sports and spent $895. Uh-oh, I'm going to flag him and send that up to the FBI or ATF." Don't know what he bought, just knows there was a transaction. Now, that could have been a gun safe. It could have been an upper-end hunting rifle. It could have been a shit ton of ammunition. It could have been a combination of things. But the point is, you got somebody who has no clue about what they're looking at. They're just looking at numbers. And they're reporting this person. It's like being surveilled, in a manner of speaking.
Absolutely.
And for those of you out there that can afford to, I know not everybody's in a position to do this, but if you have to go out and make a purchase that is firearms or hunting related, if you can afford to, either do it with a prepaid card or do it with cash. I'm not inciting no underhanded bullshit. I'm trying to protect you and your privacy. Because this is government overreach and the corporations are doing it for them. How is it that they're more concerned about you went and bought a brick of 223 because you and your buddies are going out to shoot up shit at the range or whatever on the property or whatever the hell you're doing, but they can't figure out where Quintifus is laundering his money to pay for his drug trade? I mean, the whole thing's asinine. I know it's a rabbit hole. I'm sorry, but it all kind of goes hand in hand. And you're going to use resources and create a separate charge code. So, you know what? Since we're talking about ludicrous dumb shit right now,
Here we go.
why don't they come up with a separate charge code for eating bad shit? So every time you go to fucking Waffle House, McDonald's, Burger King, Bojangles,
And they can charge it on a social.
Street Tacos, Shanae's Schlitz and Wings, whatever. Why isn't there a code for that? I mean, let's go ahead and make a feed department that handles bad food. Let's go ahead and start documenting that shit.
Right.
Let's go ahead and use taxpayer resources for something badass enough. Let's don't let people be accountable for their own decisions and choices. Let's go ahead and penalize them from a feed standpoint because it's our job. Little people don't need to be responsible. We'll just hold them responsible. Just saying. I mean, you know, what's to stop them? Making codes for every damn thing else.
So when you do that and you charge it, does that go against your new social credit history? Does that hit your Obamacare and stuff like that?
But no, it's not going to do that because they want you to be dependent on the government. They're not going to ever do that. They're going to give you all the welfare they possibly can because they want you to be dependent on that welfare.
Cradle to grave, man. Cradle to grave.
That's it. They want you. That's it. They do not want you to be a functional member of society because they can't control you.
All right.
Now, you know, we'll go a little bit further with this. Okay, with all this coding and everything else, the whole thing is that we were created with free will. All right. Now, we should I'll get back to the other thing in a minute, but we were created with free will. We make choices. Now, some of those choices are bad, some are good, some are kind of in the gray area. We all were born with a moral compass. Some people choose to fucking ignore it. Some people spin it, and some people pay attention to it. Okay? There should be a cause and effect to anything you do. If you make a choice to go out there tomorrow and eat 3 Big Macs and a supersized fry and two chocolate shakes, you're going to probably get sick unless you weigh 450 pounds, in which case you're going to have diabetes. So, I mean, you choose your poison.
Diabetes.
Got the diabetes.
So I'm saying it's not the government's job to step in and tell you what you can or can't do and to monitor everything you do. I guarantee you there's no terroristic activity being done from somebody who's using a fucking credit card to either buy 500 rounds of 9mm to store for the fucking range next week or going to buy gun safe or anything else. The people using the credit cards are not the ones you need to be watching. The criminals know how to work around the system. That's why they're criminals. They work a lifetime to learn and teach other criminals.
And that goes back to my belief that everybody should pay a flat tax.
Brother,
Yep.
singing to the choir. Singing to the choir. But then let's go another step to this whole coding and tracking and all this other horse shit. Okay. What this also allows them to do, if they start coding and tracking it, because they already do it when you go on Facebook and everything else. If you go and look at, I don't know, pink teddy bears, you're going to get 5,000 fucking emails and ads for pink teddy bears from every damn person between here and Bangladesh and Mexico. Okay? So what this does, it allows them to start building metadata and data on you. And they can use that same data and metadata at some point to affect your insurance, to affect your credit rating. I mean, think about what they can do. I'm not saying they do it now. I'm saying, but they can. The world they want is one. Patriot Nation, I'm right there with you, brother. they want to be in total control of your decision making, to make you pliable, and you're no longer an individual. You're a subject. They'd be happy with all of us be modern day fucking serfs for the federal government. And those of you who don't know what a serf is, Google it. Because that's exactly what they want to be.
Oh, yeah. If you don't think that whole Chinese social credit thing won't be or is not being looked at as being implemented here, you are so wrong.
No, you're right. They want everything socialized, dude. They want it socialized for the working class or the poor. They don't want it socialized for them.
All right.
They want two sets of rules. And see, we've had this discussion before. In the past, each generation has tried to teach the generation coming behind them, hey, look, we gotta hold the line, we gotta vote for this, vote for that. There's been so much heavy indoctrination and wokeness introduced in the past two generations, and it's continued to be introduced even heavier, that it's going to impact the outcome of elections very soon if it's not already.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't have the mindset we do. The government knows they don't. The politicians know they don't. Because of how they're being led down a path that is going to get them to give up all the reins to the government. And when that happens, we won't be a republic. Mark my words. And by the time these idiots realize, well, I don't understand what happens, because you gave all the shit away. We tried and tell you, and you thought we were all a bunch of damn tinfoil hat fuckers or old geezers or whatever you want to call us. We didn't know what they were talking about. We were all old school or outdated. Things needed to change. Well, here's your change. Good luck with that. You allowed them to take all your rights away. You don't have firearms. You don't have. What are you going to do? You're going to stand out in front and cry to them and see if they'll change things for you? Because that's all you got.
Yep.
So I'm just full of piss and vinegar today, boys. I'm sorry.
Oh.
All right, I'll shut up. I've been running my mouth entirely too long. Somebody else take.
You seem to have got old Patriot Nation fired up.
Hey, he knows I'm right.
Yeah.
I mean, it will not be a republic. In 10 years, this won't be a republic if they keep down this road.
I'm going to say shorter than that.
You may be right, dude. I mean, the only thing that it's either no longer going to be a republic or you're going to have some kind of civil conflict within our borders.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would play out. I really don't. I'm not inciting anything. This is just my prediction. I think it would be one or the other. And
well, there's a known fact that history repeats itself. So
yeah, it does. You're right, it does. But it's going to be a lot worse this time if it repeats itself, because it won't be like the 1800s when we had a civil war.
And actually, this one would be more of what you just said. The first one wasn't a civil war. It was a breakaway.
True.
And there are no defined lines now, like you said.
Exactly. I mean, you'd have. I mean, think about it. If something like that was to happen in this day and age, you're right. There wouldn't be a breakaway because you don't have any states that are all in one way or the other that I'm aware of. And what would happen is you'd have fighting everywhere.
Street by street.
It wouldn't be contained to a battlefield somewhere on this plantation or that place or this place. It would be everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a belief against a belief.
Right, and that's kind of shit that I mean, that's kind of like the Crusades right there, buddy. You know, you start getting to some fundamental things there. It's not about, you know, you cross this border. No, and it's a whole different beast. And
Well, all I can say is the religious path won before.
true.
I mean,
I'm going to go a step further than that, Vanguard. I'm a true believer that God will see us through, but we got to be willing to stay on that course.
right. Well, I'm speaking more along the terms. You mentioned Crusaders, and you know where Crusaders started from. It was a religious forefront, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You get somebody on a religious belief, they'll fight harder than anybody that's trying to have the ability to shove a fucking foxtail up their ass.
Yep, you're right. It'd be a whole that you're talking about a whole different level of commitment.
Yep.
When you bring faith into it. Because you're not now serving a general or a commander in chief, you're serving a belief.
You're serving a religious idea.
Ideology and a belief. That's hard hitting. I mean, you know.
Yep, you've seen that for the past many hundreds of years, you know, where it's dirtier and hotter.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Like if I talk about religion or talk about things of that nature, I get a different feeling in my gut as opposed to if I was getting an order from somebody to follow or something. It's two different levels.
Yeah, and that's where that moral value comes in that you was talking about earlier, which, yeah, our country was based on that moral values, but is it there anymore? No, it's not. And we've talked about it, I don't know, numerous times, right? And I'm guilty of it. Several of us are guilty of it. Our actions are just completely altered by the outcome that we may receive from helping somebody. And I mean, it's not there anymore. Will it ever come back? I don't know. But like you said, when you start putting a religion in there, if you tell somebody, hey, we're going out here to fight to preserve the name of God and religion and stuff like that, or if you go out there and say, hey, we're going out here to fight for fucking Pokemon Chase or whatever, it's two different fucking levels.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, and it's like you're saying, you go back to the Crusades, you can see that's a whole different kind of conflict compared to anything since then. I mean, why do you think the Muslim people there fight so hard? It's not necessarily. It's not so much about tactics or anything else. It's a religious ideology. That's what makes them so dangerous, because they're committed.
Yeah, to a higher cause.
Yeah, and people don't understand that. I mean, it's not like the 1700s or the British and the what was it, the Continental Army would line up in rows and take turns. That isn't how shit's done anymore. I mean, you know, and it's not like Battle of the Bulge where you had armored tanks, you know, tank divisions, everything else. I mean, everything now, I mean, warfare and conflict is not fought in a traditional sense anymore.
True. And, you know, it's interesting how people, and again, don't want to get us flagged for, you know, we're not trying to drum up anything, but it's people don't understand that, you know, back in the 60s and 70s and 50s, you know, the Irish never thought that the British would come in, you know, and with tanks and shit like that and try to restore order in Ireland. You know, and then you'd have Irish fighting Irish up there. These are civilized countries, not third world countries.
Right.
It can happen, and it could happen here.
Yeah, it could.
And like you said, it's come to it's almost like you can feel it. It's almost palpable, where it's like you're either with me or you're against me. There is no middle. Not anymore.
Right. And I mean, everybody's seen the movie North and South, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's brothers fought against brothers in that. It's like you said earlier. It's going to be solely based on beliefs.
Yeah, it will.
It's not going to be from your Facebook circle. Everybody that's on your Facebook friends list is not going to run over there and have your back. That's not the way it's going to work.
Right.
Well,
I don't know how tight your Facebook circle is. I can tell you how tight mine is. It's 0. So
I use mine for monitoring. That's about it.
Right. And I get that. I'm just saying, as people that think that they are friends with certain people really are not. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of, everybody's got friends that you can talk about certain things with and certain things you can't.
Yep.
Right. So in this instance, if this happened to come out to be the situation, and like we said, YouTube, we're not condoning this in any way. Actually, prevention is our nature. So there's going to be a lot of blurred lines. I mean, you won't know.
No, you wouldn't. I mean, think about it. Okay. If something was to pop off and it's along ideology, whether it's faith-based, political based, whatever, you don't know if the guy standing next to you is friend or foe. So you literally could be walking down the street or going in a grocery store with your kids or whatever, and something pop off, and you have no way to know who the hostiles are. You can't tell by skin color. You can't tell by how people are dressed. I mean, you see what I'm saying? You're talking about a whole different level of chaos. I mean, it's unimaginable. I mean, think about it. You got to go to the grocery store to get food for your kids or your family. You're getting put on full battle rattle and hoping to God you come back.
Right. You're not lying. Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, it's nearly that way in some place where you live now, because you got all the gangbangers and trash and running around.
Right.
You got to carry.
Yep.
God forbid you get into a confrontation, because you're going to be the lone wolf out there. But you got to do something to protect yourself, because you can't rely on law enforcement, because they're spread too thin. And their hands are tied because of all the politics instead of letting them do their damn job. So what choice does the honest working man or woman have? If you get put in that situation. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Well, we got all off in a rabbit hole, but it was fun.
I don't want to talk about it, Palmetto. Never rely on auto spelling.
You knew that she's going to get after you on grammar.
Yeah.
That's her thing.
Always got to have a pre-K teacher in the room. And I'm waiting on a reply on that.
I think the bad thing is all three of us were looking at the right spelling. Took 3 of us to figure it out. It's not that we didn't know how to spell it, Palmetto. We were just trying to figure out the right tense.
We were conjugating that sucker.
There you go.
We were spelling it with an accent.
Wouldn't it be nice if we can just fix our country that quick?
Amen.
Oh, that'd be great, but that's some wishful thinking there, dude.
Yep. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Just damn.
Uh-oh. You didn't even say anything, Saxman. She's already got you in the sights.
I know. I'm like one of the sweetest people I know. I mean, here we go.
Yeah.
She done got the scent. You're done now, buddy.
All right.
Blood's in the water.
No, he didn't say anything.
You know, when these two go at it, it reminds me of sitting in the lunchroom and watching two people have some kind of spat. You just kind of sit back, you put down your Cheetos and whatever you're eating, you just watch them kind of chuckle with your friends.
Right. So the funny thing
You
is,
know it's gonna be fun.
every time she spells something there, every time she types something out, I can hear it in my head. Yes, he did. So, oh,
Sax,
He's definitely off her Christmas card list. There's no
Yeah.
doubt.
dang
well,
it.
well, you got a year to make up for it.
Yeah, this is true.
Oh, damn.
All right. So we got 3 minutes. We're going to shut down. So, Sax, man, we're going to go ahead and kick it over to you, buddy.
Oh, jeez. Well,
Wow.
all right. So even as I wouldn't say dark, but as kind of a downer as that got towards the end, yeah, I felt that, Palmetto. Again, you know, it's something. Don't let it get you down. You know, it's just something for us to sit here and for an hour or so each, you know, a couple of nights a week to figure out how to fix it. So that's what I got.
That's all.
That's it.
Palmetto done jacked you all up, man.
Yeah, she did. I'm kerfuffled now.
Oh, it's great.
Well, we'll kick it over to T then.
All righty. Yeah, I know we got a little dark there, but you know, just keeping it real. Had a good time. We appreciate all of you being here. Please hit the like button if you're not already. And don't piss Palmetto off. She's not to be trifled with.
Don't do it.
That being said, enjoy the new year. It's right around the corner. Look at it as an opportunity to start fresh with a new perspective. Maybe redirect some energy or get more after it, per se, to kind of get on the track for us to see if we can turn some things around in this upcoming year. So don't look at it as a bad thing. You know, look at it as you got a chance to make it right this next year coming up in 2023. With that being said, keep your head on swivel, stay safe, stay frosty, and carry always if you can.
Hell yeah. Like T said, y'all, new year, new goals. I'm going to watch my weight go up. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll go ahead and put this one behind us, put it to rest. I don't want to say it's been a terrible year, but it definitely has not been great for the God-fearing society, I guess is how you would say it. But anyway, we just got to hang on, right? That's all we can do. This Thursday, we will not be live, okay? A couple of us got a couple things going on, so I don't want y'all to anticipate that for last minute and then it get canceled. So we're just going to go ahead and throw it out there. I like y'all to be able to plan. I hope y'all do have a happy New Year's if I don't speak to some of y'all again. But we'll be back at it Tuesday. We'll start the new year off with some new information, kind of a new mindset, and probably a new setup. Kind of get it flowing a little better. But other than that, yeah, y'all be safe out there. So make sure you spend this time with your family. Thank y'all for coming by. Always thank you for your support. And y'all be careful and take care. T, Saxman, catch y'all later.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Bye, Palmetto Bug.